It's the last NFL spread show of the season as we break down the Super Bowl with our winner pick, our against the spread pick, and over-under pick. We'll also analyze all the Super Bowl prop bets, and it's all coming up next. Hello, everyone. I'm Eric Lee.
And I'm Michael Wiley, and we're the Fantasy Football Consultants.
What happened in our contest?
At the top, we have Jesse Whalebig and Riley Schuyler, who both are at 14 points. Actually, Jesse didn't pick the win both games this week and is still in first place. In third place, just behind them, is Brett Messamore. He's got 13 points, so certainly in the running if he picks correctly and they don't. Jack Young is in fourth place with 12 points, so same deal for him. If the top three above him don't pick correctly and he does, he's got to win. And then we've got a few folks in fifth place that are tied that could come out on top if any of those four didn't pick the correct game, and they did. And that's Damon, Laura, Miguel, and George. Laura and George are together there, so we'll see if they pick differently just to increase their chances as a couple. So I got plenty of folks in contention.
And let me remind people, if there is a tie, it's going to go to the total points. So don't forget to enter that. If you don't enter it, we're assuming your total points is 0. Whoever is closest of the people who are tied in total wins, they take home the prize. If somehow it is still a tie because it's the same distance away above or under the over-under, is whoever entered a comment in this video. So if you're in the running, put in the YouTube comment as quickly as possible. Doesn't matter what you say. Just say how much you love the show or how much you think Michael knows what he's talking about more than me. Whatever works for you.
Yeah, no, good reminder. But yeah, I'm not sure how much we talked about. We knew we were talking about because let's talk about these games. I mean, we both picked the Bills to not only maybe beat the spread, but perhaps even win. And even though they came out strong, that's not what happened. I want to talk about the Packer game a lot, but let's start with that Chiefs game, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, let's do that. Here's what I was surprised with: how much the Kansas City defense put pressure on Josh Allen and forced him into being in so many uncomfortable situations where he was scrambling like mad, forcing throws up before he really wanted to. Was that a surprise to you as much as it was to me?
Well, and more important than that was the coverage that they had of the receivers. Stephon Diggs was not open until late in the game. You know, we've seen Kansas City give up points and yards all season long, at least statistically. But I wonder how much that was because they were way ahead. They were ahead, and they were basically giving teams a little bit of room to play because they didn't want to, give up the big play. Where this week they came out, they played man. I couldn't believe how Stephon Diggs couldn't get open against what I thought was a, just okay defensive backfield for Kansas City.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm going to defend both of us. We both really like Buffalo this year, but we had consistently said we thought Kansas City was going to the Super Bowl. And I just didn't think Pat Mahomes was going to be 100% going into this game. Made me think Buffalo was going to go to the Super Bowl. But let's give it up. How good is Pat Mahomes and that offense with Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill to throw to?
Yeah, Pat Mahomes made some nice throws. He broke away from a couple of pressure. But, you mentioned quarterbacks at the beginning of the show. I really want to give props to the coaching, both offensive coordinator and the head coach, Andy Reid, obviously, and Bieniemy together on the offensive side. And even on the defensive side, I mean, what a well-coached game, like you say, putting pressure on Josh Allen, the coverage they had in the defensive backfield. They basically said, hey, we're going to go man-to-man. We think we can handle your studs at the receiver side. I felt like this was coaching. In fact, both games really came down to coaching because we did see mistakes all over the board. Josh Allen, they came out hot, right? They came out, moved the ball, just unfortunately didn't punch it in. Then they got that turnover. They're up 9-0.
Big break on special teams. I really thought that was.
And then Kansas City said, yeah, right. You can't really run with us. they knew, I don't know if you followed the game, I'm sure you did, Buffalo had given up the most yards to tight ends all season long. I mean, Travis Kelce was wide open. He was all alone several times, and Buffalo never really adjusted to that. And once they tried to, then Kansas City could do what they always do, and get guys like Tyreek Hill and McCole Hardman, who had to atone for his early sin, the ball, so they could move the ball downfield. I just feel like the offensive game planning for Kansas City is unparalleled. And me, I'm a big defensive guy. Man, this offense, wow.
Well, what's interesting is the regular season repeated itself. The Chiefs beat them in the regular season, and they beat them here. And the same thing happened in the other game. Tampa Bay dominated Green Bay earlier. And wow, Michael, they did it again. Was it that Tampa Bay really performed better than you expected, or was Green Bay more of a disappointment?
Well, definitely the latter, Green Bay being a huge disappointment. But Tampa Bay did a good job. They came out with a similar game plan to what they had against Green Bay the first time when they beat them dominantly. I think that threw off Green Bay a little bit. But at the end of the day, what really happened with the turnover, so yeah, Tom Brady was sharp. That offensive touchdown at the end of the half was inexcusable, right? But really what happened was Green Bay, when they had chances at the end, didn't execute. And some of that's coaching, and some of that was, unfortunately, my man Rodgers, who just didn't look himself. I don't know if he was afraid to run all game long. I was yelling, run the ball. They're giving you the open spot up the field, and he continued not to do that. He didn't run the ball once. I don't understand.
Michael, I was really surprised. I wanted to get your take on it. The decision of the Packers to kick that field goal with 2 minutes left when they were down by 8.
Yeah, I think that Green Bay didn't want to win this game, because that's like statistically the worst decision ever. Jair Alexander had a great defensive game. The call at the end of the first half, the call to not play cover 2 and put King, who's really not been good all season long, in that situation against Humphreys, to not go for the fourth down play.
But I don't understand that. Can you explain it? It's not like kicking a field goal made it that all he needed was a field goal to tie or go ahead. They still needed a touchdown. Now, I know that a touchdown and a 2-point conversion was just going to tie it, where they wouldn't need a 2-point conversion where we win it. But you're putting your chances to go to the Super Bowl in the hands of your defense to stop Tom Brady and company, rather than your hands in Aaron Rodgers.
Well, and even if you stop him, you have no timeouts left, and you have to go the whole field and score a touchdown. So it didn't make sense. There's no question it was the wrong decision.
Really a sad ending, given what a great season Aaron Rodgers and that offense had. So I want to turn our attention to the big game, the Super Bowl. And here's the official line. So on our CBSSports.com is using the opening line, which is 3.5 points. The Kansas City Chiefs are 3.5-point favorites over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I looked, the line is now at most places at 3, which to me is actually a very big deal. But, let's first talk about Tampa Bay, and then we'll talk about Kansas City. Man, Michael, Tampa Bay went into Washington, they went into New Orleans, and they went into Green Bay. And their reward is a home game at the Super Bowl. What do you think of this Buc team?
Well, if you recall, I think I might have picked them to be my long shot team to make it to the Super Bowl. So I'm not sure what I collect from you on that bet.
Especially since I think mine was Philadelphia.
I didn't need to bring that up, but here you go. This team is very good. This defense is very good. Are they good enough to beat the Chiefs? I don't know. They do have a couple of injuries to note. Let's see. We'll see if it comes up. So they were missing Antoine Winfield in this game against the Packers, but didn't seem to hurt them. he hopefully will be back, I would think, for their sake. And then Antonio Brown, who maybe nobody noticed, was also off the field. I suspect he'll be back. So I don't know that they'll have any injuries. They should be at full strength.
Give them 2 weeks. They got 2 weeks to get the best trainers and drugs in the business to get ready for the most important game. You know, Michael, and I look at this Tampa Bay team, I looked at they had so many new weapons that they had to mesh in. Obviously, a brand new quarterback, but also Antonio Brown in the middle of the season joined, Rob Gronkowski in the offense, and a new head coach. And I think it just took them a little bit of time, and boy, have they gone off. In the last,
and don't forget Leonard Fournette.
Yes.
Huge impact.
And in the last 10 games, they've averaged 33 points, that offense. So that's counting the playoffs. So that is pretty impressive. So we switch and talk about the the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, real quick, just one thing to add. I think what really happened towards the middle season, and Bruce Arians admitted it, is basically he started to allow Tom Brady to play a more active role in game planning and calling. And I think that was huge. Tom Brady's just not the guy who Bruce Arians is used to having in terms of pushing the ball downfield. He's very efficient and wants to kind of throw those shorter passes to open up the deeper ball and, do what he did in the game and throw the ball downfield when he needs to. So I think that was very impactful. So you made a very good point. I think it's coming together. This team has been gelling, which is huge. But is it enough for this Kansas City Chiefs? What do you think?
I don't know. I think the Chiefs are the best team in the NFL. Look, I love the Buc defense against the run, but they're going to have to deal with an amazing passing game from a whole bunch of potential weapons to cover.
Yeah, no, I mean, there are some injuries to note. We do have this tackle who was out, who tore his Achilles heel, which is impactful. And Patrick Mahomes has turf toe, which we know can persist, but we didn't see it impact the game. I think that this spread, which you'll get to in a minute, is really just respect for Tom Brady. The Kansas City Chiefs are the Super Bowl champions coming in. They were the favorite to win the Super Bowl all year long. I've been saying all year long the AFC was going to win the Super Bowl. The Buffalo Bills, to me, were the only team that could knock them off. We've seen last year and this year Kansas City handle deficits with no problem, which is a big part of a champion, right? Somebody who can be down and come back, which really very few teams can do. But the Kansas City Chiefs did it all last season during the postseason. They did it last week against the Bills. I think the difference in this game is the talent that they have in Andy Reid and Bieniemy's ability to use that talent. And now what? The Chiefs actually can play a little bit of defense. I think this spread is a joke.
Yeah,
I don't think the game will be close.
I think you make such a good point, Michael, about the concept of they're the defending Super Bowl champions. Yes, I know Gronk and I know Brady have a lot of Super Bowl experience, but as a team, from everybody in on the squad, they've been there before. And I think that is a big factor. I think that happened with Buffalo. I think it matters. And I just think this offense, like you, is so explosive. I think they can jump up and they can come back from behind. I will lay the 3.5 points and feel pretty confident that Kansas City is going to win this game and win by much more than 3.5.
Yeah, no, I think if I understand the Tom Brady factor, I think he can be impactful, but we saw what happened even late in that Packer game when he started to turn the ball over in tough spots. Some of that was bad breaks, bad bounces, but I think he can only do so much. And this Chiefs team, it's almost unfair. It's like video gaming when you have these cheat buttons. They've got, Kelsey's the best tight end in the league. Tyreek Hill's the fastest wide receiver in the league. And then Patrick Mahomes is right now the best quarterback in the league in terms of, athletic talent / ability to deliver the ball. So it's just so unfair. And if their defense is going to play relatively well, if I'm betting on this game, I think I'm going to try and, take advantage of the possibility of Kansas City winning big and betting, up the spread to see if I can't get a bigger margin on the bet.
The Bucs need turnovers, and they need a lot of them. Big play and turnovers. Let's talk about the over-under, though. I think this is very interesting. So 56 point over under. That's a lot. Let's be clear. There are very few games that have this high an over under. But Michael, I'm going over. How about you?
Yeah, no, I mean, the only way I see this not hitting the over is if somehow Kansas City goes up big early and Tom packs it in, which I don't think you do in a playoff game. You know, he's done that before in non-playoff games. So even if for some reason Kansas City goes up big, I see Tampa Bay trying to stick with them. I think they blow this over under.
Wow. What kind of show is this where you and I just agree all the time? This is crazy. I guarantee you some of the prop bets we are not going to agree on. But I'll just say that Kansas City has averaged 30 points a game this year. Tampa Bay 31, and like I said, in the last 10 games, even more, almost 34. So you add that up, and it's well over 56. I think in a Super Bowl, I think teams have a tendency to put to not let up. And these coaches, Michael, they go for it. I mean, they're more likely to go for touchdowns than field goals. And I think that's going to be more likely to result in a higher scoring game.
Yeah, if somehow Tampa Bay goes up early, go in and definitely bet the second half over.
All right, so let's talk prop bets. If people don't know, you can bet on almost anything. I mean, ridiculous things like heads or tails. What will the coin flip be? Let me just let you know, if you're betting a lot of money on the heads or the tails, Gamblers Anonymous, please. You can bet on whether the national anthem will be over or under 2 minutes long. I mean, can you imagine? Hurry up! But let's get to a little bit more serious ones. But it's also going to be a little bit. I got some fun ones sprinkled in. So let's go through it. The prop bets. All right. The first one is who will win the Super Bowl MVP. The way the prop bets are is you bet $100, and what do you get? In fact, for Pat Mahomes, you have to bet $120 to win 100. Michael, it's very hard in the NFL to win the Super Bowl MVP if your team didn't win and if you're not a quarterback.
Yeah, and then we're seeing that here. I think no question that if the Bucs somehow sneak out a win, Tom Brady is going to get the MVP. So I don't even think it's worth talking about the other guys on Tampa Bay's side. So for me, it's just, who else is up there for Kansas City. And if somehow Mahomes gets, knocked out early or, somehow, he's just not, having a good game, then I could see Tyreek and Travis Kelce. I like the odds there, but for me, it's Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, here's the deal. It's not going to be a defensive player if it's going to be a high-scoring game. It's going to be a low-scoring game, and a defensive player makes a couple of big plays. Also, Mahomes and Brady have so many different weapons. I don't think it's likely that just one weapon is going to go off relative to the other. So, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to go Pat Mahomes too. But if you told me I couldn't pick Pat Mahomes, I just don't think it's worth it. The high. I know that given some attractive prices, I would go Brady. All right, you should research Pat Mahomes and Tom Brady previous MVP speeches. This is a fun one, Michael. In their speech, whoever it is that wins MVP, who are they going to mention first? Teammates, God or religion, the winning city, USA, family, coaches, or the team owner? I actually have one, Michael, which I think is a good bet. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, because I'm speechless. Please.
This really heavily relies on a Tampa Bay Buc win, but I think I'm going to go with the winning city. This is going to be in Tampa Bay. I don't know when the last time Tampa Bay has won a championship. Have they? Doug Williams. So I think he's going to give a shout out to Tampa Bay, the city of Tampa Bay, and their fans.
Yeah, that's not bad. I don't know how much Tampa Bay impacted things. So, obviously the this has been a season where we haven't had fans present. So I think there's a reason the odds are where they're at. So it's probably.
But they'll be there. There'll be fans there. So you always like to suck up to the people.
Sure. And actually, if Tampa Bay can pull it out, maybe it will be because of the fans. I'm not sure if there's any chance of some weather issues in that.
All right, stay focused, Michael. Who do you? You always want to get technical and smart. This is just stupid.
I'm going to go back and watch what Pat Mahomes said if I have to make a bet on this. And my guess is he said teammates. And so teammates is the answer.
Okay. All right. Who will score the first Super Bowl TD? This is kind of funny because it's the same odds of who scores the last Super Bowl TD. Michael, this is an interesting one, and I'm going to actually go out on a limb and pick someone who has a very high, get a good odd. For just $100, I can win $2,000 on Pat Mahomes. Now, I know that means he has to basically run it in as opposed to throw it in. But this guy around the goal line can take off running. I like that. Pat Mahomes, 2,000.
Yeah, I like that bet as well. So, somehow I could see the Bucs getting that first touchdown, and it's still, but I like Pat Mahomes. That's great odds.
Oh, okay. All right. For this next one, we can't agree. It's not allowed.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh, well, no, it's allowed. These are
50-50.
There's only two. First offensive play. Well, gosh, I wish I knew who got the ball first. But the Bucs have a very good run defense. If Kansas City had the ball first, I feel very good about the pass. And that's the one that is the longer odds. You get $110 for your $100. Where a rush, you have to give up 140. Who do you say? What do you say?
I think you picked wrong. I think no question it's a run play. No question Kansas City defers. No question Tampa Bay takes the ball. So Tampa's going to start with the ball, and they're going to start with the run.
Oh, you found a way to technically break that down. First scoring play, touchdown is heavily favored. You gotta put up $240 just to win 100. Field goal is 170. Michael, I was just thinking about this. Any other score, 30,300? Isn't it just a safety? Am I missing something? Is there another score in football besides a touchdown, field goal, and safety?
Anything. It would be a safety, so that's okay. A bad bet. Do not take that bet. Yeah. So I mean, I'm surprised that the odds are so favorable to a touchdown. I'd say if the Bucs get the ball, which they will, the best chance of them scoring first is a field goal.
I'll disagree. Just to be fun, I'll say touchdown because of these coaches. It's 4th and 2, 4th and 3. They're just likely to go for it. So we'll see. Longest field goal. What I just said plays into this. Listen, Harrison Butker and Ryan Suckup can kick a field goal longer than 47 yards or longer. That's not the problem. The issue is how many chances will they get to do it? Because I think that they're going to be going for it a lot. So I'm going to say the longest field goal in this game is under 46.5 yards.
Yeah, I agree with that, but maybe we'll have a last-minute field goal at the end of the half. So just to disagree with you, I'll go with over.
All right. I think this is the last one. Longest touchdown scored, Michael. This could be either team. Will that be 44.5 over or under?
Well, with the odds that you're showing there, I got to go with the under. I mean, yes, I think it's there's a lot of players who could have that, and even the Bucs like to push the ball downfield, but I think that those odds don't make sense. So I'm going with the under.
The whole game, I get Evans and Godwin and Brown and Hill and Kelsey and Hardman. I will go over. All right. So if you made it this far to the video, please smash that like button. And if you haven't yet, hit the red subscriber button followed by the bell icon. That'll notify you of any of our shows. In fact, Michael, we are going to do a mock draft next week. I think it was neat that we do it while everything is fresh. Of course, things are going to change. Players will change teams and coaches and different things. But I think it's good to take stock. First 2 rounds, top 24 picks. We're going to break it down. So make sure you hit the red subscriber button.
And don't forget to comment. We want to hear from you and tell us why we're so great or not so great.
Yeah, and tell us who your Super Bowl pick is, and if you like any of these prop bets, you think that one of the prop bets were just absolutely there's a right or wrong answer that you would put money on, let us know. Until we see you next week when we cover the mock draft, take care, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.